Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Good morning. It's that time now. I've gotten rid of a lot of my push mowers. There was one that I couldn't record because it was in the middle of the night. It was like at 8 o'clock at night or something, and I was just winding down the day, getting ready to watch some TV, when this guy texted me. He goes, "Hey, I really need that mower. Can you meet now?" And I'm like, I really don't want to. You know what I mean? Because you're like settled, you got your drink here, you got your chips ready, you get ready to watch TV. You don't want to get back up and yank a mower, put it into the thing, make sure it works, and then meet somebody in the middle of the night somewhere, you know? Could get killed. Anyway, however, you don't lose an opportunity to sell, right? So if it's not too much trouble, it was some trouble, but it's not too much trouble to get rid of one of your machines for cash. You gotta do it, right? So it was at night, I couldn't record, you couldn't see anything anyway. I just ran out of the house with the mower and I met the guy. I had it listed for $125, and sure enough, he gave me $125. It was just what he needed. He was so happy, blah, blah, blah. That was the mower that I got back from that guy that I traded for this, right? I traded that mower for him first for 2 mowers. Then it didn't work again, and he gave it back to me along with this, and I gave him another one. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you add up everything, I gave him 2 things, and he gave me 4 things. So, and I sold the other stuff already. So it all worked out great. You know, very profitable for me. And at the same time, my new friend from Huntington, he always gets a mower that works to mow his lawn. You know what I mean? And that's all he cares about. So anyway, today we're finally going to take this engine out, open it up, see what's wrong with it. We know 99% sure that both connecting rods are DONESKI! It came out of nowhere, huh? You were like... So we know both connecting rods are DONESKI. But I want to know if there's damage inside caused by the trauma of the 2 connecting rods blowing. Because if there's no trauma and it's just 2 connecting rods, I'll buy 2 connecting rods or get some from a subscriber or something and put it back in, and hopefully this engine will run. We'll try to fix this engine. If not, I might have to put that crazy Kohler Courage 20 horsepower that I was working on that didn't work for the last tractor, but my friend Matthew Derrickson, who donated parts to my command, also has parts for the Courage. What was wrong with my Courage? That's right, it had the 3 cracks in there, but we fixed the cracks when I went to Home Depot to get the JB weld, and I think we fixed the cracks. But then I also have strip studs for the rocker arms and the push rods, and also I messed up some of the nuts. So Matthew sent me some spare parts that he wasn't using. This is not the valve guide, because the valve guide is just the sleeve that goes into the thing. What is that called? I forget. Leave it in the comments. I forget what this is called. Anyway, so I was missing this. It's these studs that go into the head with the attached nut on here to affix the rocker arm. So this should fix the head to the Courage. So if we can't find if we can't salvage this engine, we'll put that engine on. Anyway, thank you, Matthew, for always contributing to the channel. He wants to see this tractor going, so he donates parts that he's not using. If you guys have parts that are sitting in your garage that can help me get something going, it's your contribution to the channel, and I would really appreciate it, as well as all the subscribers who would like to see my project successful at the end. You know, so thanks very much, Matthew. I appreciate it once again. We're going to now remove the hood, loosen the engine mounting bolts on the back, on the bottom, disconnect the harness, the starter, positive wire, fuel line, throttle and choke cables, That's it, I think. Then we'll take the engine off. Not off. Off. Put it over here. Flip it upside down. Take the sump cover off. Pop it open. And see what we find. So it's been really difficult trying to get the engine mounting bolts off. Not to mention the axis is tough to get to, but they're on there so tight. I think they might even be Loctited on there that I can't get it off with an impact. So I'm gonna have to flip this on its side, and I have to take the deck off first. That's what you gotta do. Take the deck off. I'm gonna jerk the deck. Man, oh man, it was a massive undertaking, man. That required all kinds of sockets, extensions, breaker bars, long extensions with a 1/2-inch impact to get the 4 bolts out of there. It was tough. I mean, I don't know what they put on it. It didn't look like Loctite at all. I mean, but finally, after some doing, we got the 4 off here. I think the engine is only being held on right now by the muffler, and I should be able to just pull it upwards to get the engine off. Let's drain the oil first to see if there's any oil in it before we take it apart and flip it upside down. As you can see, this oil is black death, and there's not much of it at all, which is probably the cause of why the connecting rod's blue. It's because he didn't have enough oil in it, and the oil was yucky. It's hardly any in there, so I'm just gonna cap this off. We're gonna flip it upside down. And then see what's inside. So there it is, fellas. It took a little bit to get that sump cover off. It was really on there. So it came off, and I'm looking at the sump, and the sump looks pretty good. Aside from this tab that I chipped off from banging it off, but that's just the tab. Has nothing to do with the sump other than assisting it to get the cover off. As you can see, the input for the cam is in good shape. Usually those are busted, so you can't put a cam in there anymore. So this, from what it looks like right now, the sump is good. As you can see, the carnage of the connecting rods, we know for sure that those connecting rods are Donenski. It actually may look like it's just one, which would be awesome. Okay, I'm going to remove the cam now. I might have to rotate this thing to loosen up the cam because it's under pressure. I am putting a towel there so I don't scratch it, because maybe the crank is good. There we go. That's loose now. Should be able to take the cam right out. Or maybe not. Because it's dual, you know, it's dual cylinder. It has four cams actually that are under pressure. Two intake cams and 2 exhaust holes. I may have to loosen the valves to get this cam out. Rotating the crank, I could see that the other crankshaft, the other connecting rod is also busted. So we're done. We're gonna need 2 connecting rods so far, at least. I want to try to remove the cam so that I could see what's going on. And it looks like I may have to just take the valve. Oh, there we go. I got it. All right, we're done. You know why? Take a look at this camshaft. If you take a look at it now, after the cam's been removed, you can see the cam is bent, so that's Donenski. Both connecting rods are Donenski. I think that governor just popped off. It looks okay. The washer for it. Yum. Take a look at that. The top post for the cam. It's cracked in 3 different places. So unfortunately, this block is Donenski. I would have given you a bigger Donenski, but I'm a little disappointed. Otherwise, I would have given you a bigger Donenski. Donenski! How's that? So that's done. You see the trauma from the side of this cylinder over here. Big chunk gone. So that's it. I'm going to need to strip this engine of its parts, the parts that are good, and sell it on eBay. That's all you can do with this. I mean, the block for this is pretty expensive, not to mention the amount of work to take this apart and put it together again. Not to mention I still need a cam plus 2 connecting rods, right? And probably because the 2 connecting rods blew, the crankshaft journals are trashed. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna yank that out next. So it took some doing. It's kind of fun. I like taking things apart, you know. This is the last part, connecting rod. Rings still feel good, so I think the piston might still be good. It's just a connecting rod, you know. And it's a little chip here, but it still can be usable if you're in pinch. Maybe. Maybe not. Either way, I don't really have another vtwin that I'm working on that I need a piston on, you know. If any of you guys are interested, let me know. I took the heads off, both. Left and right. I labeled them so that if I sell it, I'll know which one's left, which one's right. So here it is. There's the block. Block is done. Can't use it. Here's the crankshaft. I was kind of confused because I thought maybe the journal would be like over here, the other one, but actually they share one. See the two holes there where the oil lubricates? They run side by side. I didn't know that. It's interesting. Either way, the journal's really trashed. Deep gouges in it, you know. This could be probably usable, but this is done. This is the intake manifold with the fuel pump attached to it, with the carburetor under it, the fuel solenoid. This took a little bit of doing to get off because those bolts were really tough. They were torque screws, but they were tough to get off. I stripped one. Stripped a bit to try to get this off. So carburetor, intake manifold, fuel pump. Dipstick, heads. Did you guys watch me take the flywheel off? It's fun. It's a small key for a big flywheel. This is like a lawnmower key, you know? Really small. And here's another aluminum push rod, just for the intake. Intake ones are aluminum. Here's a dowel pin, 2 dowel pins. Here's air isolation cover, which I always keep, but I don't think I'm going to keep them anymore because I never sell them, nor do I ever need them. The governor. You can see the camshaft is bent and done. Part of the connecting rod. 7A2. And the other side says 1. Here's the other one. So I'm going to put this on the curb. It'll crash tomorrow. Or a scrapper might come by and say they want it. I'm going to keep this stuff here. Looks like the sump is good. Flywheel. Two heads, 2 pistons, exhaust pipes, 2 magnetos, 1 stator, crankshaft gear, the sump bolts, the head bolts, the governor. Got the throttle bracket, air filter. Oh, you know what? You know what's worth money? I'll show you what's worth money. This cover. Just go on eBay and Google how much this cover costs. You'd be amazed. And then even be more amazed when you figure out how much this costs on eBay. I've seen this for 80 bucks. Just this. Crazy. So good money for this. It'll build up some funds for when I buy parts for future projects. This is not worth much. This is the muffler shield for the top. There's a starter for the vtwins. This is different from the single cylinder ones. While they look exactly alike, they are different. I'll save this for when I need it someday, or I'll sell it. I don't know. Well, anyway, that's taking it apart, man. It's a messy job, but somebody's got to do it. Well, that's it for today's episode, fellas. Took the engine off, took the deck off. Found out that we can't use this engine, connecting rods, camshaft, engine block. Everything's busted in there. Kept the parts that I could use for the future or sell. And this is the trash going to the curb. And then tomorrow we're going to whip out my power washer and I'm going to clean the deck. There's so much stuff on it. And I'm going to power wash this frame, you know, in anticipation for mounting the Kohler Courage engine on, which I'm going to put the new parts that I got from my friend Matthew Derrickson on there, and hopefully that engine will be able, well, we know it runs. It just needs some fine tuning and tweaking from things that aren't reliable, you know. Put that engine on here, and hopefully that'll fire up and run reliably. But thanks all for joining me on today's episode. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, Kyle from Woodside Lawn and Garden. Next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed the video, remember to give me a like. Also, comment below. Subscribe. Remember, it doesn't cost anything to subscribe. It's free, right? Also, hit that little bell. That way you'll get post notifications whenever there's a new video and you won't miss out on any of them. Remember to follow my Instagram and Facebook, as well as if you'd like to donate $1 or $2, paypal.me/mowersandblowers. Really appreciate all the support. Also, to keep the videos coming every day, support the channel. Bye.